Howdy everyone, I'm the Shadow the Hawk, and welcome to a Shadoo review, where I will be talking about Le Pacte des Loups. Lepus. I can't speak French, so I probably shouldn't even be trying to pronounce the French version of this movie's title, but fuck you. uh, the film in American is The Brotherhood of the Wolf. Now, this was a film recommended to me by a friend, Samiel the Infamous. Go check out in the description down below. You'll see his channel. A lot more subs, a lot better content than me, a lot better discussions than ones you'll find on this channel. And I liked it. So, context. A while back on Twitter, behind the scenes, some people were talking about, like, hey, we should do a spooky, scary stream. We should talk about scary movies. And my contribution was Alien. That was the only horror movie ever. I mean, I've seen some of like the Annabelle spin-offs, and I've seen like a Friday the 13th myth film, but like none of the big name. I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never seen Human Centipede, like none of the big names. And I got scolded, reasonably so. And I was given a list of films that I need to watch. And the first one I decided to put on my list, mainly because it was the first one that was given to me, was The Brotherhood of the Wolf, or Le Pacte des Loups. Des Loups? Yeah. I can't stop trying to speak French. Anyway, so I watched that one. I just got done watching it, and I loved it. It was incredibly, the pacing was great, the costuming was great, the characters were great. Like, everything about this film was great, minus the CGI, which, of course, it's a 2002 film. So what was I really expecting CGI-wise? I don't know. Starship Troopers looked good. Still looks good, CGI-wise. I'm being a jackass. Anyway, my main thing, though, is it's, at least maybe I'm just desensitized to horror, but it felt less of a horror movie and more of a murder mystery. And maybe if I went in knowing it was a murder mystery, I wouldn't have been like, this isn't really a horror film, but it was pitched to me as like a horror movie, and I was expecting to get scared, and I didn't get scared. I was just more, So, last chance to go watch this film before I start talking about it, and that chance is up. So, The Brotherhood of the Wolves is set in a couple decades before the French Revolution. You know, America's a thing, France is a thing, Britain is a thing. And in a small countryside region of France, there is a beast on the march, a creature in the night going out and killing women and children because it's a craven little beast that doesn't want to fight a man in a one-on-one fight. I mean, it would probably win that fight, so why doesn't it go mano a mano against a man? Because the person controlling it is a coward. That's why. And the problem is really, really bad. So the king sends a very competent individual whose name is escaping me, but he has the rank of chevalier. Basically, he is knighted. He's an individual who has been knighted for his service to the crown. And he is joined by a Native American of the Iroquois Confederacy known as Mani. And the two of them basically show up, and one of them is a very competent, just all-around individual, and the other one is a very competent fighter and is also a shaman, being Mani. And they work with the various cast of people they find, mostly nobles, which includes Guy missing an arm, Guy missing an arm's sister. I'm really bad at remembering character names going off my Song of the Bandits review, but at the same time, these are foreign names. Like, why would I bother remembering the name of some foreigner? Did that get me taken off YouTube? I think that shot. Anyway, so basically the first hour or so is basically just trying to establish what's going on. What is this monster who might basically laying out the breadcrumbs and giving us some characterization of who the Chevalier is. A little bit about Manny, but he's more of a supporting character / kick-ass / spirit of nature stuff. As well as, establishing that, hey, this is at least I thought it was a Frankenstein. So this film is actually really good at setting up misleading hints and having them all make sense. There's a few things that are oh, that kind of came out of nowhere, but it's also when you sit down and think about it, you should have realized that a little bit sooner. The big reveal is that basically everyone who's a noble except the Marquis, which is the guy that's above a duke, are all involved in this scheme. And but the ringleader, the big ringleader, the guy who's actually controlling the beast and all that stuff, what should have given him away around halfway through the film is Mani and the Chevalier guy, they basically find they find the hideout of the bad people that are using the beast. And there's various like African things, like an African sword, an African spear, an African statue. And I'm sitting here going, why is that looking African? Completely forgetting guy who's missing an arm went to Africa. So that should have been a dead giveaway. But, I'm thinking, well, he's a cripple. Like, how does he? Oh, he's smart. He hid his crippledness because this is a long form plan he had. Yeah. That's cool. One thing that also I think is really interesting is the fact that I was thinking it was like some kind of Frankenstein monster. It wasn't. It was just an animal in some kind of combat armor. They never specify what animal it is. It's a big animal. I can't really, I'm assuming it's some kind of made up monster animal because magic seems to work, given that Manny actually can commune with the spirits of the wolves and get them, throw them to Abena and help us. And then there's like some weird sketch shit involving like this whore who's not a whore. She's actually an inquisitor, not really an inquisitor whore lady who's Italian, so hot. And there's some stuff like magic stuff there. There's some magic stuff like with a witch girl. It kind of blends, like, is magic real? Is magic not real? And I would say magic is real in this world, simply because, Manny actually communes with the wolves, and the wolves actually do what he says. And they're wild animals. They're not like domesticated doggos that are just, hey, you're a different human. We'll listen to you. The film does action fairly well for something in the 2002. And I really like an overall theme that I at least picked up on, and it may just be because I'm reading The Coming of the Cimmerian, Conan, for those of you who need it in layman's terms. And that is more or less like the effectiveness of society versus that of civilization. While the civilized world is attempting to bring in this monster, they're failing. Not necessarily because they're incapable of bringing in the beast, but because civilization's taint and rot and corruption is keeping it from actually hounding the beast, because it's more focused on maintaining its appearance. It's more focused on remaining civilized than actually getting down dirty and doing what needs to be done in order to solve the problem. Whereas the moment you step into the barbarous and savage nature of man, you're actually able to solve the problem and save people. However, it was barbarity and savagery that brought about this problem in the first place, being a savage man who was broken by a savage continent coming back and bringing that savagery with him to ravage the land. And it's a really interesting thought process on like what the hell is going on. And frankly, I'll need to watch it a few times before I can even construct a more valid thesis. If people kind of want to see that, let me know down in the comments, because this is one of those films that's like, there's a lot going on and you can miss a lot of the subtext on a first watch. You're kind of going to need, I feel like I'm going to need to watch it a few times in order to fully understand what's going on. Sorry about the phone going off. That is a person. Anything else I want to say? The women are hot. Like only a couple of the prostitutes in this film are ugly, and that makes sense because, if you're a prostitute, I mean, yeah. Do I need to go further from there? I mentioned this earlier, but like the costuming is all on point. Everyone looks like it looks all just spectacular. It is a good movie. The pacing is great. The sound design is great. I could probably get into like some more specifics, but frankly, it was just a good experience, and I can't really describe it in a fair enough way. You kind of need to go watch it. So go watch it. I don't know where you can watch it legally, but if you don't mind hanging out with Johnny Depp dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow, you can find it. Anyway, I've been the Shadow of the Hawk. Thank you for this quick little Shadoo review. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a comment down below expressing your conversation, your opinion, whatever. And if you hate this video, feel free to hit that subscription and hit the notification bell so you can hate on my videos going forward. Thank you all very, very much. Make sure to have a good rest of your day.